I saw the Chainsaw Man movie. It was fire. It was awesome. It was everything I wanted it to be. And if you don't know what Chainsaw Man is, if you haven't seen it, well, let me just give you a quick little breakdown here. We got this teenage kid named Denji. He's homeless, lives in a shed, never got laid before, struggles to get food on the table. He's got this little pet dog with him called Pochita. It's like a little chainsaw dog hybrid devil thing. That's his pet and his only little companion. And one day he is brutally murdered by the Yakuza. And the only thing that saves him is his little pet devil dog, Pochita, who fuses with his heart, and he becomes Chainsaw Man, who has chainsaws for arms and crazy monster head, and he just tears those Yakuza apart. And then he meets Makima, the head of the Public Safety Bureau, whose job it is to hunt down devils. So they're kind of like the Men in Black, only they tackle devils instead of aliens, kind of. You get the idea. Anyway, they give Denji a choice. You can come with us, we'll give you food and shelter, as long as you hunt devils for us with your awesome chainsaw powers, or we will kill you. Because we can't let you just roam loose. And it's an easy choice for Denji because he doesn't want much. All he wants is food and shelter, and maybe the possibility of someday grabbing a girl's boobs, because again, he's never had that before, poor Denji. Anyway, Denji's a little on the dumb side. He's a little bit of a dense individual, but he's also lovable and he's a sincere guy. And he just wants to live a peaceful life, and he decides to join the Public Safety Bureau as a way to do that, even if it means he now has to hunt other devils for a living. So yeah, the Public Safety Bureau's cool. They have a bunch of other people working for them that are also devils and also have crazy powers, and that's basically the gist of Chainsaw Man. It's a visceral, bloody action series that is also tender, sweet at times, funny at times, and it blends all those tones really, really well. And it's good stuff. If you haven't seen season 1 of the anime, which came out back in 2022, it's really good. It's only 12 episodes. You could easily binge it in a day or a couple sittings if you want to catch up to this movie, because the movie will not make much sense if you don't know where these characters are from or what they're about. Just go watch season 1. It's an easy watch, and I very much recommend it. Chainsaw Man season 1 is probably my favorite anime of 2022. Probably one of the best shonen anime of the decade so far for me, right alongside like Dandadan, which I think is the only other action anime that I think rivals it for me personally this year. And I think it's far more interesting than something like Demon Slayer or Jujutsu Kaisen, which for me, those are a little more conventional. They're a little more standard, a little more tropey, a lot more tropey actually. And what I love about stuff like Chainsaw Man is that it's a lot weirder, it's a lot stranger and out there and more off the wall and kind of offbeat. And the manga author behind this, Fujimoto, does that really, really well. He's a great writer. I have not read the manga. I'm an anime guy. I mostly watch anime. I'm sure the manga is great. But yeah, Fujimoto kills it. This guy is a great author, great writer. And while we're on the subject of that, it is worth pointing out that there was some controversy with season 1 of the anime. Not looking enough like the manga, not looking enough like the source material. It's got a darker look, a more saturated, desaturated color palette, kind of muted, more realistic tone to its visuals. And it had a lot of CG, which people also get very mad about in anime. I thought the CG was handled pretty well. I thought the anime looked great. Overall, I thought it looked pretty artful. I thought it looked incredible. Raised the standards for me for what anime on streaming can look like. And I am a bit of a defender of season 1. I really think it looks incredible. I don't think it deserves so much hate from the manga readers. But for what it's worth, the movie does have a style much, much closer to the manga. And it wasn't super noticeable to me until it got to like the second half and the big explosive action scenes kicked off. And I could tell that, yeah, the art style, the visual style is definitely different from that first season. It's definitely a bit of a shift, but it also wasn't jarring, even as somebody who really liked the visuals of season 1. I thought the movie looked also really, really good in its own right. There are definitely like differences, and you know, I guess it all comes down to preference in the end for which one you like better. I think they're both pretty great. I think the quality is there regardless, and it still looks like Chainsaw Man to me. It's still, characters still look the way I feel they should. I don't know. Again, I haven't read the manga, so I'm probably not the best one to have this opinion, because I don't know, I'm not intimately familiar with the visuals of the source material, admittedly. But either way, this movie kicks all kinds of ass, plain and simple. It's a great story for the film to have, because it does feel nice and self-contained, even if it does help to have the context of who everybody is before seeing the film. The actual story it tells has a conclusion. There's no abrupt ending or anything like that. It feels like a nice, tidy, neat and tidy episode, like overlong episode of the show, which is not a bad thing at all. It's definitely a compliment, because that's a good thing, given how good the show was. But yeah, our boy Denji meets this girl named Reze at a cafe. She's very alluring at first, but there are many, many things that quickly become apparent about her, that she may not be who she seems to be. And let me just say that the reveal for the movie's villain, the Bomb Devil, is, it ranks up there for me as one of the coolest, scariest, and wildest moments I've seen in anime. Probably this entire year, and maybe in the last couple of years. I don't know. It's fucking phenomenal. The Bomb Devil, man, it's just such a cool villain, such a cool style design. I absolutely love everything involving this character. The whole second half of the movie is just one huge, quite literally bombastic, escalating action sequence that just keeps getting better and better and better and topping itself over and over. And that alone is reason enough to see this movie, quite frankly. But the build-up before that, the whole first half of the movie is just is a very nice, almost like a little love story. And it's a very nice little bit of character development for Denji, for our main character. And what he goes through here is, it's pretty touching, it's pretty sweet, it's pretty tender, but also tragic and bittersweet by the end. Again, I won't go into story details, I don't want to spoil anything for this movie narratively, but there's a scene involving a swimming pool that is visually captivating and tender and sweet, and also really, really funny all at once. It's really good stuff. And the pacing of this movie is great. Didn't feel too slow or too long. I know there were a lot of pacing complaints about the Demon Slayer movie, Infinity Castle, which I did not see, but I can assure you this movie does not have that problem. It's a nice mix of character development, story stuff, and then balls-to-the-walls action for the entire second half of the movie. That is great. It's just great stuff. And even then, it's not just mindless action, mind you. There's still some good character moments in there as well, even when things get really crazy. There's also this new character, this shark guy, that follows Denji around for the whole movie. That is really funny and weird. It also leads to an outrageous, ridiculous set piece that you might have already seen in the trailer, but it's great. It's Chainsaw Man. I mean, it's wonderfully, deliriously insane from start to finish, this movie. And it captures everything that I loved so much about season 1 of the anime in a much shorter package. So, like, man, I don't know what they're going to do next as far as, like, seasons or if they're going to do more movies, but I am so excited for more Chainsaw Man. I will say that if you're a big Power fan, you know, Devil Girl with the red horns and the long blonde hair, the obnoxious, foul-mouthed, and incredibly, deliberately annoying character that she is, Power. If you're a huge Power fan, there's not a lot of power in this movie. So I'm sure manga readers already know how this arc goes down, and if it's as faithful to the source material as I imagine it would be, then they probably already know this, but you might be a little disappointed about that. There's some power at the very start of the movie that has some funny bits, and she bookends the movie in a post-credit scene that's also really funny, so you should definitely stick around for the credits. But there's not a lot of power. We don't get any kick-ass power action scenes in this movie. I'll just say that right away. There might be some salty Power fans out there. I like her as a character, don't get me wrong. I think she's fun in her own twist. She's lovable in her own twisted way. But There's not a lot of her in this movie, which is fine because, again, I feel for me this story was more about Denji. It was more focused on him. Even Aki, we don't get like a ton of screen time with. He gets a little bit here and there, but like it's mostly Denji's story. This movie, it's mostly about him. But there's enough of everybody in this movie that it's, you know, it works out, it balances out. But it's mostly focused on him and this new girl Reze, and where that goes. And I like that it's a nice, tight, concise movie. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It didn't feel too long. It didn't feel too short. It felt like everything I needed out of a Chainsaw Man movie is in this movie. And it's one of the most exciting and awesome things I've seen this year. So, yeah, I guess that's really all there is to say. If you want to get into Chainsaw Man, I highly recommend watching season 1 of the anime again. It's on Crunchyroll. Just go watch it. 12 episodes, easy binge, and then see this movie as quickly as you can. I didn't get to see it at IMAX. I'm sure it's amazing at IMAX, but any theater you can get it on is still worth the price of admission. So anyway, that's the Chainsaw Man movie, Reze Arc. Go see it. It's awesome. And until next time, you get to burning and live for the passion.